losing me. Gotta deal with the devil, please set me free. The sun lives in the river, and it's coming after me.
In Maneater, you take the reins of one of Earth's apex predators. As a stealthy assassin of the deep, you are able to rip and tear your way through prey, opponents, and more. And the more you devour, the more you evolve. I'm Darcblade, with a guide to the BioElectric evolution set in Maneater. Now, Maneater tackles gear and abilities slightly different than traditional RPGs. Instead of gear, you gain evolutions. These evolutions can be combined into sets, and ultimately turn your shark from a bog standard, albeit deadly bull shark, into something out of a fantasy or horror movie. The BioElectric set is inspired by sea life found in the very deepest of Earth's oceans. The BioElectric set is the damage dealer set of Maneater's various evolutions. Utilising bioelectric attacks, you're able to stun opponents, paralysing them and leaving them open to your attacks. Excelling at taking on other sea creatures, this BioElectric set is also useful when it comes to taking on high-tier shark hunters. But how do you get the BioElectric evolution set? Well, the set is gained from defeating the named bounty hunters. Whilst going around Port Clovis and devouring humans, you'll increase your infamy level. At certain thresholds, this will trigger named bounty hunters that will come after you, specialised shark hunters that must be defeated. Defeating certain ones will reward you with various pieces of the BioElectric evolution set. But it's not always an easy task, as some of the later shark bounty hunters can be quite tricky. Now, when it comes to the stats on the BioElectric set, you can clearly see it is a set that specialises in dealing damage. Having the highest damage rating in the game, you're able to make quick work of any opponent you come across. It also has an average defense rating, which doesn't make it the most durable, but not exactly the most squishy either, but unfortunately it is lacking when it comes to speed. But when you take into account the bioelectric effects of being able to stun opponents, thanks to the electrical currents running through your body, you don't exactly need speed to go after a paralysed target. Now, each time you perform certain actions with the various pieces of the BioElectric set, you will put a number of stun counters on your target. When the target has 10 stun counters on it, it will be paralysed and stunned for a short period of time. However, a single stun counter will be removed every 3 seconds. Now, when it comes to the individual evolution pieces of the BioElectric set, I'm going to talk about them as if they have been maxed out. First up are the BioElectric Teeth. These are obtained by reaching Infamy Rank 1 and defeating BioWilly. This evolution set allows you to release an electrical charge each time you bite down on your opponent. So basically it's giving yourself lightning teeth. Anyway, once you've maxed out the BioElectric Teeth, you will gain an additional 10 damage when you bite down on an opponent, and for every bite as well, you'll apply 3 stun counters on anything within 4 meters of the bite target. So when fighting slow opponents, you can really stun them quite easily with the BioElectric Teeth. Next up are the BioElectric Fins. These are obtained by reaching Infamy Rank 5 and defeating Ensign Tyler Dixon. This evolution allows you to turn into lightning for a fraction of a second when you perform an evade maneuver. This will inflict lightning damage as well as put stun counters onto any nearby targets within the AoE that occurs when you evade. And once you've maxed out the BioElectric Fins, you'll deal 20 damage as well as put in 3 stun counters on anything within 5 meters when you perform the evade maneuver, and you'll also get a 70% evade speed increase as well, greatly increasing our dodge capabilities. Next up is the BioElectric Body. This is obtained by reaching Infamy Rank 6 and defeating Butcher Boy Brady. This gives us the BioElectric ultimate ability, Lightning Burst. As always, to charge up the ultimate, you have to simply consume and damage other sea life or humans. Now, when activated, the Lightning Burst will cloak your shark in a lightning aura, electrocuting anything that comes nearby. When lunging whilst the Lightning Burst is active, you'll turn into lightning and inflict damage and stun counters on anything nearby you. And once the body is maxed out and the lightning burst is activated, you'll also obtain 30% projectile damage resistance as well as 30% electrical damage resistance, which is great for taking on the high level shark hunters. And when you perform the lunge attack whilst the lightning burst is active, you'll deal 20 damage as well as put 6 stun counters on anything within 9 meters of you, as well as get 25% lunge speed, 25% max speed, 25% acceleration bonus and an extra 25% swim speed. Anyway, next up is the BioElectric Tail, which is obtained by reaching Infamy rank 8 and defeating Mama Maybell. This evolution allows your tail whip to launch a lightning projectile straight ahead of you. This projectile is like an arcing wave and will of course put stun counters on anything it hits. So once you've maxed it out, when you perform the tail whip, you'll deal 20 damage to anything the lightning arc hits, as well as applying 3 stun counters. And then finally is the BioElectric Head, which is obtained by reaching Infamy rank 9 and defeating Commander Percy Metcalf. This evolution allows you to create an electric shock when you ram boats, potentially short-circuiting them. Basically, when the BioElectric Head is maxed out, when you slam a boat or ram into a boat, the boat will be immobilized for 10 seconds. However, the hunters on the boat will still be able to react, shoot you, and so on. But, of course, if you wear all pieces of the BioElectric set, you'll gain a set bonus. Basically, the set bonus for the BioElectric set will increase the BioElectric damage dealt by 50%, greatly increasing all our damage with this evolution set. Now when it comes to leveling up the evolution set, you have to prioritize fat over anything else. This is indicated by the yellow droplet icon found on most non-aggressive sea life. Whilst yes, mutagen is required for some of these upgrades as well, fat is going to be your primary resource when it comes to upgrading. But overall, the BioElectric set is, like I said, a heavy hitter. It's a damage dealing evolution set, able to take on most tasks quite quickly. Yes, it doesn't have the highest defense rating or speed rating, which makes it a little bit vulnerable when it gets overwhelmed with multiple opponents, but if you're taking things on one-on-one, this set can make short work of anything you have your eyes set on. When you're taking on the likes of Apex Sea Predators, this set can destroy any opponent, thanks to being able to stun them, leaving them open for your high damaging attacks. But there we have it, that is the BioElectric set in Maneater. For me personally, this is a fun one to use when especially taking on Apex Sea Predators, but it can be a little bit tricky when you're taking on Shark Hunters. In late game, when taking on Shark Hunters, you can easily get overwhelmed with the sheer amount of opponents you have to face, and given this set's lower defense and speed, if you're not careful, you can be caught unaware. But so long as you're careful and pick the high threat targets first, as well as make use of the Lightning Burst ultimate ability that gives you the projectile damage resistance as well as electrical damage resistance, even high tier Shark Hunters will fall to the high damage that this evolution set can deal. But what are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you a guide to the BioElectric evolution set in Maneater. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.